Hello, everyone. It's Physician May. We are going to unpack something truly fascinating, the hidden life cycle of electronic waste. We all have them, right? Old smartphones, broken laptops, outdated chargers, just sitting in a drawer somewhere, gathering dust. But have you ever stopped and wondered what actually happens to them if you dispose of them the right way? Well, today, we're going completely behind the scenes. We're going to trace the exact journey of your discarded electronics, starting from a simple tap on your screen, all the way through the rigorous scientific stages of recycling to their absolute rebirth as pure, valuable materials like gold and silver. It's a story of seamless logistics, heavy machinery, and honestly, some incredible chemistry. So let's dive right in.
Here's our roadmap for this explainer. We're going to follow one single device through 6 key phases. Starting the workflow, pickup and logistics, sorting and manual dismantling, mechanical shredding, chemical processing, and finally, the rebirth of materials. It's a total transformation, and seeing how it all connects is definitely going to change how you look at your old gadgets.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, starting the e-waste workflow, or what I like to call the digital trigger.
What's really wild here is how frictionless this massive industrial process actually begins. It literally starts with you sitting at home. You just pop open a web page and fill out a super quick form. Punch in your name, your address, and list whatever e-waste you've got. Maybe it's an old laptop, a busted phone, or even a big appliance like a fridge. You hit submit, and instantly that data pings an admin dashboard. Someone reviews it, clicks accept, and boom, the gears start turning. A green electric vehicle is immediately dispatched right to your door. It's totally seamless, putting you right in the driver's seat to launch this massive cleanup operation, all from your screen.
Which brings us right to Section 2, pickup and logistics, the physical handoff. So this is where we transition from the digital world into the physical one. Your doorbell rings, and there's that green EV van, keeping the whole process eco-friendly right from the very first mile. The driver actually checks the items you listed online, verifies it's the right laptop or fridge, hands you a formal receipt, and securely packs it away. You see, this isn't just someone taking out your trash. It's a secure, tracked handoff of highly valuable materials. Your device is officially in the system and ready for its next chapter. But that brings up a really good question, right? You've done your part, the device is gone, but what exactly happens when that green van pulls up to the gates of the recycling factory? This is where our story shifts from everyday delivery logistics into some seriously intense, large-scale industrial science. Let's step inside the facility.
Welcome to Section 3, Sorting and Manual Dismantling, basically preparing for destruction.
So the crucial thing to know here is that before we can bring out the heavy machinery, we actually have to rely on human precision. First, the gathered waste gets grouped into broad categories. You've got plastics over here, metals there, circuit boards in their own pile. But devices aren't just blindly tossed onto a conveyor belt. Workers actually use their hands and simple hand tools to carefully pry these gadgets open. And why is that? Because hiding inside those devices are highly toxic and volatile components, especially lithium-ion batteries. Those absolutely have to be extracted by human hands first. If a battery accidentally makes it into the next stage, we're talking about a massive fire hazard. So safety dictates this first wave has to be done completely manually. Now the real action starts in Section 4, mechanical shredding and separation, where we apply the physics of recycling. Once those dangerous batteries are out, the gloves come off. We move from careful human precision to absolute mechanical brutality. The dismantled devices are fed into these massive, heavy-duty shredding machines. And I'm not talking about an office paper shredder here. These are huge industrial crushers that physically annihilate the devices. They just chew right through metal, plastic, and glass. The whole goal is total reduction. By the time that e-waste spits out the other end, it is completely unidentifiable. Plastics are reduced to tiny little granules, and the metals are ground down into this fine, messy powder. We've literally turned complex technology into raw, chaotic debris. But how on earth do you make sense of that chaos? Well, you use the fundamental laws of physics to sort it out. First up, pass a giant magnet over the debris. Naturally, boom, that pulls out all the magnetic metals, like iron and steel. Next, we've got to deal with the non-magnetic metals. For this, we use a really cool piece of tech called an eddy current separator. It generates a specialized magnetic field that actually repels non-magnetic metals, so it literally launches the copper and aluminum right into their own separate bin. Finally, water flotation. It's incredibly simple, but it works flawlessly based on density. We just dump the remaining mixture into a giant water tank. The lighter plastics float to the top, so we can skim them off, while the heavier metals sink or drown straight to the bottom. Pure physics, sorting out the chaos.
With all those materials cleanly separated, we enter Section 5, Chemical Processing and Refining. Time to extract the treasure.
Okay, so we have these separated bins of material now, but the metal powder we dredge from the bottom of that water tank, it's still a big mix of different things. To isolate the really valuable stuff, we have to zoom way in and shift to microscopic chemical processing, which brings us to a critical step known as leaching. Simply put, leaching is the process of dipping those mixed metal powders into very specific acid or base solutions. Think of it like an intense chemical bath that eats away all the remaining junk and impurities, isolating the pure elements hidden inside the powder.
And when that chemical bath is finished, what exactly are we left with? Treasure. Literal treasure. The chemicals extract high valuable precious metals that were used in the tiny microchips of your devices. We are recovering real gold, silver, copper, and palladium. Honestly, no way, right? These aren't cheap scraps. These are highly valuable commodities that were literally just sitting inside that broken phone at the bottom of your drawer. And science lets us reclaim every bit of it.
Which transitions us beautifully into Section 6, the rebirth of materials, giving our e-waste a second life.
This is the moment the life cycle comes entirely full circle. Those raw, purified materials we just painstakingly recovered, they are now ready to jump right back into the global manufacturing supply chain. And we've got two very distinct destinies here. The recovered metals, that gold, silver, and copper, they get refined into pure, supreme quality metal ingots. Tech companies buy those up and use them to build the internal circuitry for brand new phones and laptops. Meanwhile, remember the plastics that floated to the top of our water tanks? They get melted down into these uniform plastic pellets. And those pellets are then used to mold entirely new everyday items, like super durable plastic furniture. It is a complete 100% rebirth.
And that really brings us to the core reason why learning about this entire workflow is so absolutely crucial. This quote perfectly anchors everything we've talked about. This process ensures e-waste doesn't end up in landfills, returning precious raw materials back to the earth. Seriously, every single time you choose to properly recycle a device, you are directly stopping toxic chemicals from seeping into our soil. And you're massively reducing the need for destructive mining operations. You're not just throwing something out, you're actively fueling a sustainable, circular economy.
So I really want to leave you with this thought today. Right now, in your house, there is very likely a hidden gold mine sitting quietly in a drawer. You've seen the app, you know how the logistics work, and we've walked through the mind-blowing science of how it's all broken down and reborn. The system is set up and waiting. So, when are you going to click submit and start its journey? Thank you guys so much for joining me today to explore this incredible explainer. Keep learning, keep asking questions, and I'll catch you next time.